or something. In college, I was passed out off 2 Four Locos and a stomach full of E&J because I couldn't even afford no real liquor, let alone a motherfucking marriage. It's only a couple of black college educated men. That's they mammy for. Get these niggas up out the motherfucking streets and into the universities. That don't have nothing to do with women. Why is that pussy work? Y'all should be hoes in college. Y'all gonna regret not being a hoe in college. You go to college and get fucking married. When they said C's getting degrees, that was me. And I know that's a lot of my friends. I know there's a lot of college students. I could barely get to the 8 a.m. class. I could barely get some financial aid. I could barely get some housing. I could barely get an education. And you want me to simultaneously worry about a man and getting married and being a wife when financial aid can't even give me a fucking loan? And then these men that you speak of in college, do they have enough money to sustain a marriage? Can they put me up in a house? They can't even put me up in a dorm. I'm a college kid that's supposed to be out here popping pussy. Go pop that pussy and make sure you wrap it up and know where to go get an abortion and know where to go get you some motherfucking birth control. Talking about marriage. Bitch, you're 40 and you still not put up. So you getting on Beyonce's internet telling people to get married in college when these niggas don't even have no money after they get the degree.
So first thing first, it's a lot of things that I felt like was wrong in this video. First thing being the mammy comment about y'all go get them out the streets because that ain't got nothing to do with women. That's they mama's fault. Baby, that's women. So that has everything to do with it being the mama's fault. Because you know that women always say that they're the most educated. But if y'all are the most educated, if we are the most educated, then why are these kids failing in schools? Once again, if these kids wasn't failing in schools and these young boys wouldn't be failing in schools, then guess what? They would be going to college. They would be able to pass the SATs, the ACTs. They would know how to be gentlemen. They would know how to treat a woman once they get older. They would know how to have emotional intelligence. They would know how to respect women. All of these things start within the home, baby. So all of these men that are growing up to be these type of men are raised by someone. And who are they raised by? Ask yourself that question. Who are they raised by? But continuously popping that pussy like she's stating, and you having kids out of wedlock, not creating a stable family environment. So that's what you get. I ain't come here to sugarcoat today. That's not what I came here to do. So basically, partying was a priority for her over her grades. Because she explains is C's get degrees. So she was barely making it. And she probably one of them people that just be like, yeah, I went to college, just to say that you went to college. But what did you learn from college? What did you get out of it? Because obviously you didn't get anything because you was barely getting by. But in college, realistically, you can't really have these high standards because both of y'all are at the same level. You gotta be with somebody that can meet you where you're at in college. Ebony K is valid for this statement that she made. So all the women that is in an outrage, her points are valid. Like, I think back on how unintentional I was in college with not making the proper relationships and the connections without, knowing much about relationships and dating and not really knowing how to date the proper way because I was only focused on one thing, and that was my career. At this phase of your life, you have access to men who are working towards a vision for themselves, who has the ambition, the desire, the drive to go somewhere in life. That's a black man. I remember when I graduated college, I was struggling and I was broke after that. A dude at the time, we were friends. He was interested in dating me and, moving things along from us being friends to us actually dating. He was dealing with similar issues, but he was further along than me because he graduated a year above me. 1 to 2 years later, this man was working for NASA as an engineer. Y'all gotta realize that in life, things take time. And you gotta be willing to grow with somebody and meet them where they are. Because here's the thing, when you're not intentional in college, you end up losing out on a quality pool of men, which Ebony K is stating. And now you sitting up here trying your luck on dating apps, going to the club, when in college you could have been focused on both. And I think that's another issue we have as black women. We're told to go to school, get your career, do all of these things, but we're not taught to focus on both. Focus on both. You can focus on both, baby. It's okay. Because that's the smart way, especially if you're thinking to yourself 5 years from now, I want to have somebody, I want to have a family. Because that's something that you want for yourself. So you have to figure out what it is that you want. We as women always want to talk about how mature we are. But when we're in college, it's literally all we're thinking about is partying, having fun. And that's great. But you also have to think about your future at the same time. It's not all I need to just be thinking for the moment. You gotta think about your future. And most of us think about our future when it's too late.